Hi everyone, welcome to my channel PamVerse. This is Pramila. Three years after sparking large protests, India is preparing to adopt a controversial citizenship law that extends amnesty to non-Muslim illegal immigrants from neighboring countries. The act, which was an amendment to the 1955 Citizenship Act, was first introduced in the Parliament in July 2016 and passed in December 2019.
और ये बिल शरणार्थियों के लिए है, ये बिल धार्मिक लघुमतियों के लिए है। मैं आप
हाँ 311 311 ना 8080 निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष हुआ, प्रस्ताव सभा द्वारा स्वीकृत हुआ, विधेयक पारित हुआ।
Before the CAA, any foreign national seeking Indian citizenship through naturalization needed to have spent 11 years in India to become eligible. As anticipated, ahead of the general election 2024, the Centre notified the rules for implementation of the Contentious Citizenship Act 2019 on Monday, 11th March. This has further paved the way for granting citizenship to undocumented non-Muslim migrants from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. The Modi-led government will now begin granting Indian nationality to persecuted non-Muslim migrants from the above said countries who arrived in India up until December 31st, 2014, following the issuance of the CAA regulations. These consist of Christians, Parsis, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, and Hindus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government says it gives sanctuary to people fleeing religious persecution. But critics says the law is anti-Muslim. Now look in the topic of CAA. What is CAA? The Citizenship Amendment Act aims to protect individuals who have sought refuge in India due to religious persecution. It offers them a shield against illegal migration proceedings. To be eligible for citizenship, applicants must have entered India on or before December 31st, 2014. Currently, Indian citizenship is granted to those born in India or who have lived in the country for at least 11 years. The proposed amendment also includes a provision for the cancellation of overseas citizen of India registration if the OCI card holder violates any provisions of the Citizenship Act or any other applicable law. The Citizenship Amendment Bill was passed in the upper house of Parliament where the BJP lacks a majority by 125 votes to 105 on 11 December 2019. It had cleared the lower house 2 days earlier.
For reference of the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2019 as passed by the Lok Sabha to a Senate Committee of Rajya Sabha to vote. The question is that the bill further to amend the Citizenship Act 1955 as passed by Lok Sabha be referred to a Senate Committee of the Rajya Sabha consisting of the following members: K.K. Ragesh, B.K. Hariprasad, Tiruchi Siva, Yelamaram Karim, Vinay Viswam, Manoj Kumar Jha, Sri Sanjay Singh, with instruction to report the last date of the first week of the next session of the Rajya Sabha. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no.
The CAB amended the 64-year-old Indian citizenship law, which currently prohibits illegal migrants from becoming Indian citizens. It defined illegal immigrants as foreigners who enter India without a valid passport or travel documents or stay beyond the permitted time. Illegal immigrants can be deported or jailed. The new bill also amended a provision which says a person must have lived in India or worked for the federal government for at least 11 years before they can apply for citizenship. The law was passed in 2019, sparking a mass protest in which scores of people died and many more were arrested. Rules for it were not drawn up in the wake of the unrest but have now been, according to the country's Home Affairs Minister Amit Shah. He made the announcement on Monday, writing on social media that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had delivered on another commitment and realized the promise of the makers of our constitution, to the Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, and Christians living in those countries. India's Home Ministry in a statement said that those eligible can now apply online for Indian citizenship. An online portal for receiving applications has already been set up. The ministry said that there have been many misconceptions about the law and its implementation was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This act is only for those who have suffered persecution for years and have no other shelter in the world except India. It added, the implementation of the CAA has been one of the key core promises of Mr. Modi's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party in the run-up to general election this year. Who does CAA leave out? The argument since 2019 with the leading opposition parties has been that the law is discriminatory as it targets Muslims, who make up around 15% of the country's population. The government explains that since Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh are Islamic republics with a Muslim majority, Muslims cannot be considered persecuted minorities. However, they assure that applications from other communities will be reviewed on a case by case basis. How can migrants apply for citizenship? Since the entire process will be conducted online, the Ministry of Home Affairs has prepared a portal for the applicant's convenience. The year that the applicants entered India without proper documentation must be disclosed. The applicants won't be asked for any documents. Why has the opposition been up in arms against it? The controversial Citizenship Amendment Act, passed in December 2019, has faced opposition, protests, and across the country. Many opposition parties have criticized the law, calling it discriminatory. The Indian National Congress Party has raised concerns about the timing of the rule notification, alleging that it is intended to polarize the upcoming Lok Sabha elections in West Bengal and Assam. The timing of notifying rules, as mentioned before, the CAA was passed nearly 4 years ago. As per guidelines stated in the Manual of Parliamentary Procedures, the rules for any legislation should have been framed within 6 months of presidential assent or seek extension from the committees on subordinate legislation in both the houses of the parliament. Since 2020, the Home Ministry has been taking extension in regular interval from the parliamentary committees for framing the rules. However, it was only in December 2023 that the Union Minister Amit Shah stressed up that no one can stop the implementation of the CAA as it is the law of the land, and also said it was the BJP's commitment to implement the CAA. The timing of the notification is also to be viewed as the Lok Sabha polls are likely to be announced in couple of days and the model code of conduct may be implemented thereafter. Meanwhile, the leader of opposition in the Assam Assembly, Mr. Debabrata Saika, and Congress MP from Assam, Mr. Abdul Khalik, have filed an interim application in the Supreme Court seeking a stay on the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024, notified on March 11. The application contains that these rules are unconstitutional and violate the Assam Accord. The application is filed in the writ petition filed in 2019 challenging the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, emphasizing issues specific to the state of Assam and raising concerns about the violation of constitutional principles like equality, secularism, and non-discrimination. The earlier petition is currently pending adjudication. A day after protests erupted across Assam following the centre's notification for the Contentious Citizenship Act 2019, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma on Tuesday said he will be the first to resign even if one person who has not applied for the National Register of Citizens in the state gets citizenship. I am a son of Assam, and if a single person who has not applied for the NRC in the state gets citizenship, I will be the first to resign. Himanta Sharma is saying on the silence of program at Sivasagar. The protesters are claiming that lakhs of people will enter the state after the implementation of the CAA. If this happens, I will be the first to protest, the Assam CM said. 11th March and Monday's announcement did not come as a surprise to many, as BJP leaders have been dropping hints over the past few months that the law could be implemented before the elections. After the notification was issued, BJP handled trended hashtags like Jo Kaha So Kiya, which means we did what we said in online platforms. What has the response been so far? In the meantime, protests have erupted in parts of India as a result of CAA implementation. Protests against the CAA have started in some states, including Assam, where the All Assam Students Union, which spearheaded the 2019 protest in northeastern state, has given a call for shutdown on Tuesday after CAA implementation announced. Different student groups are organizing similar protests in other regional states, including Meghalaya and Tripura. Many of these groups are opposed to the CAA not because of its allegedly discriminatory nature, but because they oppose the legislation of citizenship status for any foreign nationals. In the southern state of Kerala, the ruling Communist Party of India party has called for statewide protests. This is to divide the people inside communal sentiments and undermine the fundamental principles of the constitution, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said, adding that the law would not be implemented in his state. Critics of the CAA say it is exclusionary and violates the secular principles enshrined in the Constitution, which prohibits discrimination against citizens on religious grounds. For example, the new law does not cover those fleeing persecution in non Muslim majority countries, including Tamil refugees from Sri Lanka. It also does not make provision for Rohingya Muslim refugees from neighboring Myanmar. There is a concern that when harnessed in tandem with a proposed national register of citizens, the CAA could be used as a way to persecute the country's 200 million Muslims. Some Indians, including those who live close to India's borders, are also worried that implementing the law will lead to an influx of immigrants. Later, CAA announcement has not gone down well with the opposition, who accuse the government of trying to influence the upcoming election. This is expected to be held by May, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is seeking re-election for a third term in a row. After multiple extensions in 4 years, its implementation 2 to 3 days before the election announcement shows that it is being done for political reasons, said All India Trinamool Congress party leader Mamata Banerjee at a press conference.
क्या देखिए এনআরসি নিয়ে এসে কারো যারা এখানকার নাগরিক তাদের নাগরিকত্ব ক্যান্সেল করা হয় তাহলে কিন্তু আমরা কেউ চুপ থাকবো না আমরা স্ট্রংলি এটা প্রতিবাদ করব আমরা আগে জানিয়ে গেলাম
Jairam Ramesh, the communication head of the Indian National Congress, wrote on social media that the time taken to notify the rules for the CAA is yet another demonstration of the Prime Minister's blatant lies. And also, he posted on X that after seeking 9 extensions for the notification of the rules, the timing right before the elections is evidently designed to polarize the elections, especially in West Bengal and Assam. Asauddin Owaisi, the leader of the AIMIM party, questioned the timing of the move. CAA is meant to only target Muslims. It serves no other purpose, he wrote on X. Students of Jamia Millia Islamia, a university in New Delhi, told that protests broke out in the institute and police arrived. Security forces conducted flag marches in areas near Delhi's Shaheen Bagh, which became a hub of protest over the CAA in 2019 and 2020. Critics have also pointed out how the law has deliberately been implemented right as elections are about to take place. Yogendra Yadav, a political scientist and an activist who was closely associated with the anti CAA protests, told that this move of voter polarization by the BJP before elections is unsurprising. How can beneficiaries get faster citizenship? The Indian government announced that those eligible under the CAA can apply for Indian citizenship using an online portal launched by Indian Home Ministry. A committee headed by the Director of Census Operations will review applications. Now we'll look in do and don'ts of CAA. Firstly, what we don't think the CAA is: Muslims are able to immigrate to India through any legal channel. The CAA provides a path to amnesty for certain religious minorities who fled persecution in their native countries of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan on or before a specific date, and in the absence of India having an official refugee policy. That said, there is no question and should be no question as to the rights and privileges of Indian Muslims as equal citizens of India. In fact, the recent abrogation of Articles 370 and 35A is a demonstration of India's commitment to ensuring equal protection to all of its citizens, regardless of religion, gender, sexual orientation, or class. India should continue to safeguard its democratic ideals and pluralistic ethos as a home to one of the largest Muslim populations in the world. Lastly, the CAA also does not deal with the deportation of undocumented immigrants. Deportation is governed by a different law and applies to those who, regardless of nationality, religion, gender, sexual orientation, a class, etc., enter India without requisite documentation and permission, and do not fall within any other exceptions to such requirements. What we do think the CAA is: the CAA removes substantial barriers to legal resettlement and citizenship by proposing amnesty for Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, Parsis, and Christians who sought shelter in India on or before December 31st, 2014 due to religious persecution in their native countries of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, or Pakistan. The CAA, however, does not go far enough. Indeed, India is the sacred homeland of the four Dharmic Indic traditions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, and home to the largest populations adhering to these respective traditions. The dire human rights situations for Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, and Sikhs in Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan is undeniable, and their respective population demographic decline is a staggering reminder. The inclusion of Christians and the Parsis is also important as they too have faced serious human rights violations in India, three neighboring countries. Why we think the CAA is necessary? Religious and ethnic minorities such as Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, Christians, Parsis, Ahmadiyya Muslims, certain Shia Muslims, and Baloch have lived as a second class citizens in these neighboring countries for decades with no sign of conditions improving. This discrimination ranges from widespread institutionalized and social discrimination to bonded labor, kidnapping, forced conversations, rampant violence, land grabs, and destruction of religious sites. Today, as the world's largest democracy, and emerging global leader, we believe India should continue to be light further religiously, ethnically persecuted in its region, as well as touch barrier of secularism, pluralism, and religious liberty. Thanks for watching the video. Please give your valuable feedback with your comments in comment section, and also do subscribe to my channel and like the video for support. For more interesting videos, stay with PamVerse.